Hey, divas and chicas, how y'all doing? Welcome in, welcome in. How are we doing? Welcome in. Alrighty, so today, what are we doing? First things first. As you can see from the title and the thumbnail, we are going to be talking about Amphoreus. We are going to be talking about Amphoreus. I want to say a little bit in depth, but not too much, it's not going to be a long video. With that being said, though, first things first, I want to say thank you to everybody who's been coming to the streams. If you don't know, I stream over on Twitch on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Last week, I got really sick, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to stream on Wednesday or Thursday, and I do apologize for that. But I did get a few messages being like, oh, hope you're doing well. That was really nice. Thank you so much. With that being said, this week we have Honkai Star Rail, the final part of Amphoreus, on Tuesday. We have Wuwa on Wednesday, and then on Thursday we might do Genshin or HSR or whatever we're really feeling. With that being said, let's get right into the video. So, Amphoreus is coming to an end. It has been a very long road, everybody. Now, I have only been on, in HSR for a couple months, but I have been enjoying it. I played through the entire story. We didn't have a skip button when I started, so that was great. But yeah, it's awesome. I love this game. I think it's so cool. Now, is it perfect? No. But we're going to talk about it, right? So, let's get into some things that I want to get through. I have like a little chart here, and I have likes on one side and dislikes on the other, alright? So, the first thing that I want to say, we'll start off with a dislike, is no 4-star. There is no 4-star, and that is really sad because I know a lot of people that are free to play just don't really have a lot of the Chrysos heirs. Why? Because they're all 5 stars. You have to have a bunch of pity for them, all that. Regardless of the reason, I just felt kind of, iffy about not having a 4-star at all for this entire patch. Now, to be fair, we did get in return 2 5 stars. We got Archer and we got Donhung PT. So I guess that alleviates it to an extent because at that point you have at least 2 Chrysos heirs in the Trailblazer and Donhung. But apart from that, there's still something about that just didn't really sit right with me. Okay. Now, let's go into the likes because I do have some likes and then we'll swap back and forth. My first like is the story. This story is so good. It is so good. And as someone who played Honkai Impact 3rd, as someone who went through the Elysian Realm, obviously there are so many references and so many callbacks and similes and all that stuff. And it was really cool to see those, but I also do think that Amphoreus wasn't just a rip and repeat version of the Elysian Realm, which I loved. I was worried that it might have been, but no, thankfully it's not. With that being said, I did enjoy a lot just Amphoreus as a whole. I thought it was beautiful. I didn't think it was gonna be, hey, spoiler alert, I didn't think it was gonna be a computer program, but we'll take that as you will. I loved certain plot points, like when we get to Amphoreus, but we don't know that we're actually still on the train and it's just our mental state. The fact that March was there before us and that's why she's in all of the tutorials. I thought that was amazing. I thought that was so cool. But yeah, the story is insanely good. And we'll touch on a few more things about the story here and there. Now, here's my gripe with part of the story. Some characters felt rushed. Okay, what do I mean by that? Well, when the Chrysos heirs first came out, we knew a bunch of their photos, we saw them, but a bunch of their photos were blacked out. Cool, leaving some hype for time or whatever. But I felt like when we did get to, and the characters that are mainly on this part of this are, I feel, Anaxa, Cypher, Ceridra, and Hysolins, okay? Because Evernight and Donhung PT, that makes sense. They're gonna be very they round out the cast. They're the Trailblazers' friends, etc. etc. Hysolins and Ceridra, they were only in 2 quests, in 2 main Trailblaze missions, and for a 7 patch time frame, right? And that's only 2 of them. Technically 3, I guess, with 3.7, but still. I feel like we spent so much time with the beginning of the Chrysos heirs that we didn't really get to spend a lot of time with Hysolins or Ceridra, and even to a lesser extent Cypher. I feel like Cypher, for playing such a big role, she did she was part of the backbone of Amphoreus, and the only reason that it was even around for as long as it was. I love Cypher. I love her design. I love everything about her. We'll talk about her in another video, but I adore her. And I just felt really bad that, like, her story wasn't really, I feel like it is enough, but we could have had more. You know what I mean? And we don't seem to be getting any, like, companion quests from what I can see, or just, like, any type of story quest with them, which, you know, it's kind of sad, but it's fine. It's fine for what it is. Another thing, Anaxa. I feel like Anaxa, being, like, essentially just a mega atheist, he's a cool character, and I just wish we saw more of him. Again, because I feel like I was seeing so much of Treeby and Phynon, Mini Cyrene, and all these other characters, Castorus and all that. Even Hyacine. I feel like we saw Hyacine a lot. But at the same time, we saw so much of those characters, but we didn't see enough of the ones that I mentioned earlier. Now, moving on to another dislike, so that we can, you know, kind of round out these dislikes. First and foremost, the Fate collab. All right. The Fate collab, the units, the best way I've seen it put, right? And I am a mega Fate fan, okay? I know little people that are more Fate fans than I am in my circle. I know they exist out that you know, I'm not friends with them, but in my circle, I think I am the most Fate fan out of all of them. Except for one, maybe Josh. Love you, Josh. But yeah. Fate is so important to me. I adore the series. I adore everything about it. I've read the visual novels. I love that world and that universe that they made. Honkai Star Rail had a year to cook this story, and they had a year to make these characters. Archer and Saber, great. S. Mwah, love it. Amazing. The characters, the playable characters, I love that I got both of them. I got their light cones. Like, I literally started Star Rail for this collab, okay? So that's kind of where I'm approaching this from. Now, have I fallen in love with Star Rail after? Yes, because as someone who's played Honkai Impact 3rd, I really, really enjoyed just seeing all the XPs and all how this world connects and all that stuff. But I did unfortunately not really enjoy the story for the collab. I loved seeing the characters, but the fact that Lancer wasn't playable, that Rin, Shiro, not even a mention, you know, like Britain being Amphoreus, the caster and all those other characters not even having real cool models, like, it just felt kind of sad as someone who really, really loves Fate. And I'm telling you, Hoyoverse, if you ever have another Fate collab and you make you just go all out for it, you will make so much money. Because let's face it, they want money, and I want to give them my money if it's good. You know, like if we had Rin, Shiro, Saber, Archer, Medusa, which is Ryder, Caster, and all these other characters, I would have been in debt. I would have been in so much debt. But they could have, they took a swing and they hit it to like a base, but they could have done a home run. All right, we're gonna leave it there. Moving on, we have heartwarming story. Girl, don't you start with a heartwarming story, my ass crack. Okay, sorry, I was looking at my computer. It was not. I guess it's a bittersweet story, right? But it is not heartwarming. As I said, we're gonna finish out 3.7 on Tuesday, and just the way that it's going, I am so sad. And I am going to be distraught. Are you joking? I saw the live stream on Billy. All right, it was crazy. I was like genuinely like I formed an attachment to Amphoreus to a point where I was like, wow, this is really good writing. But yeah, you lied when you said it was a heartwarming story. I forgot the dev who said that, but yeah, but you lied. Moving on to my likes. Okay, so this is a hot take, I guess, but one of my major likes is Cyrene herself. I really, really like Cyrene. Now, to be fair, am I biased because I like Elysia? Yes, I am. I love Elysia. The fact that I am a sucker for any type of religious motif, okay? And Cyrene and Elysia are literal, like, allegories or stuff. And they're similar to, like, Jesus and the disciples. And I kind of ate that up. I was like, oh my goodness, this is tea. But also, just in general, like, Elysia becoming the Hersher of humans. And like, devoting herself to humanity. And then Cyrene also devoting herself to Amphoreus in such a way that it was, like, marriage. Like, it's I loved it. I adored it. Now, to be fair, do I think Cyrene is exactly like Elysia? Yes, and okay, I can admit, the people who saw mini Cyrene and were like, okay, this is cool, it's Elysia, but it's different. And then we got Cyrene proper, the Demiurge, I'm pretty sure it's called, and all that. Well, yeah, I can see why you guys are a bit upset with that. With that being said, though, I do love Cyrene. I do love everything about her. I don't have her E2, but I did get her, guys. I did get her. Literally off stream, I was just like, let me do a couple pulls. And then I got her, and I was like, ah! But yeah, love Cyrene. Love her so much. Moving on. And then we're going to wrap up with the Daughters of Fuli. I thought that concept was amazing. The fact that March and Cyrene... Oh, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. The fact that March and Cyrene are basically like sisters, and they even have lions referencing it. I think it's adorable. I love the fact that like everybody kind of got a little piece in the ending quest from what I've seen. And I really loved Amphoreus. Now, with that being said, we are done with the little retrospective, and I'm telling you, this was a very, very short review. I'm working on a script, making an in-depth, talking about it. But moving on, what am I excited for Edo Star? Am I excited for Edo Star? Yes, I am. I am scared because I know the meta is going to change, but I am so excited to go to Edo Star, everybody. I love cyberpunk. I love that aesthetic. And it's just one of the ones I really like. I love Grecian mythology, and Amphoreus was very heavily inspired by that. But at the same time, I'm so excited to go to Edo Star. I know we're going back to Penacony, and I love Penacony. I'm making a video about how much I love Penacony and the world building in HSR and why it's almost chef's kiss. But like, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. For Edo Star. I'm excited to see any new versions of characters that might come out, since we have Don Hong, Embittered Lune, Don Hong PT, March 7th, The Hunt, Evernight, all those, that type of thing. But yeah, with that being said, though, everybody, I want to know what your guys' thoughts are, okay? I want to know what you guys thought of Amphoreus. I want to know what you guys thought about everything in general. Let me know. Are you excited about Edo Star? Are you excited about where the story is going? I would love to hear from you. With that being said, though, everybody, I hope you have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon, whenever you are watching this. And I looked like a second ago, and I saw that we reached 170 subscribers, and I just want to say thank you so much. I never thought I would even have 10 subscribers, let alone 100. And we're almost to 200. I'm so excited. Now, with that being said, I hope that you guys have, again, a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon, whenever you're watching this, and I will see you guys next time. Alrighty, everybody, bye!